Hello everybody, Pilgrim here. Today I've got a video about Path of Exile 1. So I'm going to be joining the Pox's private league, the latest one with the Atlas Invasion and Shifting Stones. Both of those things I haven't done before. I missed them when they first came around. I'm really excited about that, and it starts in a few hours. So I did a load of testing on the Settlers League, and I came across, well, I wanted to do melee, and but I wanted it to work very well if you were a new player, and or just had you just struggled with league starts. So this is using Pox's Righteous Fire's skill tree with some changes. So you basically remove all of the nodes that relate to damage over time and fire damage and stuff like that, and instead you use literally anything else. So I'm using axes, but you could do this with maces or swords, and it also doesn't matter on the melee that you do. All melee was buffed in Settlers, or possibly even the one before it. I think it was Settlers though. And yeah, it basically means that, you know, you're doing more consistent damage with less investment. Okay, so this is absolutely great if you want to do what I'm doing, which is I just want something that is super easy to gear and yeah, and it's just like super tanky. So I used Pox's Righteous Fire because of the huge amount of regeneration and the ease of gearing. So we're going Chieftain, and we're doing it for quality of life and yeah, quality of life and just the ease. You know, I don't want to think about it. You know, about gearing. So yeah, and then the second thing that I wanted to focus on was lab. So I miss lab. I've been doing PoE 2, and I hate both of the current trials. I never had a problem with lab. I always liked it, even before lab got updated with better loot. But I never actually went back and did lab en masse after the update, and so I wanted to give that a try as well. So what we have here is just a character that was doing low-level lab farming, and this is like my 11th go through, and now I am having to use my XXL tab, and I've got 10 standard tabs, so I've actually filled all of those up, and the first like 4 or 5 lab runs, I actually just sold the rares immediately. So this being the 11th, I think it's roughly 16 or maybe even 17 tabs worth of gear. That is both rare and unique. So you get quite a few uniques. Today's trial had 3 dark shrines and 2 silver chests, and you've got pretty good chances of getting uniques and just really good items and currency from those. And so the zones that didn't have those obviously also just have some sort of additional trial, gauntlet I believe they're called, and so yeah, what we're focusing on is basically just doing all of the content in those maps, just being as efficient as we can. This run took me about 20 minutes, I'd say that's about average, and if you do say like 9 or maybe a dozen, so it's going to be like 3 or 4 hours of your time. But it ends up being really fun. I really enjoyed it. I like the the speed compared to PoE 2. Like, I really miss going fast. This is actually very fast, so in terms of gear, you want to be getting move speed and just stuff that can clear really well. You level up a lot. I actually started this at level 25, that's my first lab, and yeah, that ended up being like excellent. Like, didn't have a problem. I used the life flask a single time after, like, in the end Izaro fight, and that was after like waiting 30 seconds as I let everything beat on me. And yeah, after that I just never used it. I got rid of the life flask in like, yeah, after the first like 3 or 4 runs, and I just raided Guild Stash for some cheap unique flasks that had more damage and stuff. But yeah, this just went really well. I ended up getting 105 move speed. But I've got some on the tree. I also killed Crichton. I've got 20% on the boots, 10% on the amulet, 40% on the weapon. It's the Reaper's something Reaper's axe. That also has some rarity as well. I've also got a Fox Shade, so, and because of the huge amount of regen that we have, we're almost always on full life, and that's where most of the bonuses come from, is when you're on full life. And so yeah, all of these uniques you can actually farm within the zone itself, so there's a pretty good chance of getting these items. In fact, half the items that I'm currently wearing did drop here, so things like the prison weave and the amulet and the weapon. I also used the limb split as well, but when I first started I spent some time trying to 6-socket the guild limb split, and I actually used that for about 7 runs before moving over to the Reapers, and that's also really good. In fact, I'm going to go back to that now to do the actually no, I won't, because I'm just going to be going straight into Pox League now, so there's no point. But if I was continuing, I would use the limb split just to get me through the campaign. It's an excellent weapon for that. Although saying that, this weapon, I mean, I'm already doing like 11k damage, which is 3 times more than what you need to kill Kitava. So, like, yeah, I don't need to do anything there either, quite honestly. Yeah, as you can see, like the I've just shown off that I did the first fight as you're supposed to, so you basically just need to kill everything as quickly as you can, and don't kill any of them. You can kill that guy now, the flame guy, but you can't kill him when you're actually doing his part of the trial. Anyway, if you do it perfectly, you get an extra key at the end. And so, yeah, basically, we're just going through all of the zone. We're going through all of the gauntlets, you know, opening up every single chest. And, yeah, remember that this changes every 24 hours. So, yeah, I would say that today's trial is actually pretty good. 3 dark shrines, 2 silver chests, reasonable gauntlets, and so, yeah, ended up getting, it's actually pretty consistent. So the dark shrines could give you extra keys, they could give you a guaranteed unique, and they could also give you 2 uses of the font. So that is another way that we make money. So there's a couple of ways we make money at the beginning of the league here. So we can either use the divine font to do the transfigured gems. So quite a few of those can actually be quite a lot at the beginning of the league. So stuff like, I believe, Cleave of Rage is a good one for that, which I did end up picking up. Just basically all manner of transfigured gems have some sort of value because they're hard to get. You know, it's a luck of the draw. You can see that we've got a dark shrine. So now we have diamond shrines, so we're always critting. And we've also got trap improvement. So neither of those things are actually good for us. So we don't need damage, and we don't need to care about any trap because we have a ridiculous amount of regen. Somewhere around 450 or something. And yeah, it's just super forgiving. I mean, when I was level 25, I had around 700 health and around 250 or 300 regen. And as I said, I was, you know, getting pubbled by 6 rares and a Zaro. I only used it once, and then I used Sunder one time and killed most of the screen. So yeah, it's just really consistent. So if there was like a load of uniques that I would actually focus on, as I said, the Reapers or the Limb Split, the Thrill Steel is another 20% move speed and 20% attack speed. Hopefully you'll easily get like a pair of 20% move speeds just from drops. Like obviously you've got like, I mean, by the end of it, as I said, like 16 or 17 at stash tabs worth of rares. It seems ludicrous that you wouldn't have a pair of 20% move speed boots, but obviously you've got things like the Wonder Boots or whatever they're called. You know, there's some low level 20%. This is another fantastic showing of why we do these. So a load of 8% quality gems. Now, when you open up those and you do roll quality gems, it rolls quality once and then it's multiplied by the amount of gems. So if you end up getting like super lucky and getting like 10% or something above or above, you've made absolute bank. So if nothing else, then you could trade it in for a load of GCPs. Like you can get up to something like a dozen gems or something in one go. Here's another dark shrine, and I think this one gave unique. Oh no, it was a divine font. Okay, so and here I'm trying to make a decision on what's worth it. So every time you go and fight Izaro, you want to use that stash, just stash everything, because every now and again you have to leave stuff on the ground, and that feels bad. So I like just keeping all of the jewelry, so if there's only like 8 space items, they're usually the first to go. But yeah, lots of jewelry, lots of currency, lots of gems, uniques. I mean, by the end of this you'll see the amount of uniques we got in this particular run. Like it does vary, but almost always you're getting at least one unique. And I think this time around I ended up getting something like 5 or 6. And so you also forgive me, I have to do this one at a time because I've got the affinity on the gem stash tab and I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, it is just a load of, was it 8% or 10%, something like that. And then we also had another high quality gem drop as well. And just showing off that I successfully did the last trial 100%, so that's another key. So, you know, Izaro is going to end up dropping 3 keys this time around. And again, like, all of the chests at the end matter as well, you know, that they can be the same sorts of contents as like silver chests, basically. So gems, currency, uniques, rares, you name it, it will drop it. They also have a chance to drop keys, and yeah, I think the most I've done, like the most final chest that I've done is like 8 during normal lab, and I did get that in one of the like 11 up to this. Also, yeah, this is where we start to see the silver chest. So the 2 silver chests are at the end. And yeah, they always have better consistent loot as well. And there's always a load of magic mobs and rares. Now, rarity is something that doesn't. So the chests aren't affected by rarity, but the rares that you kill are. So there's around 10 zones or so that you have to go through, and yeah, each one of those you've got like 6 rares or so. I think, actually no, 10's a bit much. I think it's something like 8. So 8 zones, but yeah, there's roughly like 6, potentially even more rares. And rarity obviously does work with them. So, and it also works with the end fight as well. So Izaro has a huge amount of quant and rarity already. So you've got pretty good chances of getting rares. Of getting uniques from that as well. All that to say that, you know, you do it like a dozen runs, you'll get up to around level 44, 45, which is I think where I am at the moment. And yeah, uniques here. So 2 uniques from that one chest. So Dodries and I want to say Surge Binders. I don't end up IDing them in the video, just because I wanted to try and keep it as short as possible. But yeah, it's pretty good, pretty consistent, and each of these uniques, you know, they're either going to be an alc or a chaos. If you get really lucky at the start and you get some like Wanderlust, that's it, that's the boots. If you end up getting something like Wanderlust, they actually go for several chaos at the beginning of a league. So, and obviously if you've already, you know, like me, got a good pair of 20% move speed boots, that's like amazing. You can see the amount of currency as well that we're now starting to stack up. This is just from a single one. So yeah, and we got 2 extra keys as well from chests and labs and stuff. I can call them labs. They're called gauntlets. And so yeah, ending fight. We just pop the flask, do the damage. We end up getting, I think, another unique. Yeah, there we go. End up getting 3 dragons. And then all of these rares. And remember, like with the rarity, each of those rares, you know, there's a pretty good chance that they could turn into a unique. So I'm going to just spam the... Yeah, there you go. 6 of them, I think it was. 5, something like that. And we've got more uniques on the ground, more currency. Going back for all of the rares, because why not? And yeah, I'm not in any sort of rush. We got chaos on the ground. I think the best I got from a single chest was like 3 gem cutters, or 2 chaos. I'm not sure which one is more. And then yeah, there you go. Last of the theirs, and then the divine font. And so what was that? Yeah, five uniques, tons of quality gems. We've got, you know, a load of augs, or pretty much every single currency under the sun. You know, the next biggest being like exalts or whatever. All of this is worth quite a bit. I think in total, like the 11 or so that I did, it's probably about 20 chaos, I want to say, of my total profits. And yeah, to actually, you know, start, you'll want to do the serrated mod. So, you know, you get your weapon of choice, a whetstone, and a rare or a magical rare sash, rustic sash, and that will give you a % physical roll. That's guaranteed, and then you can just craft something like attack speed, or something like that. If you got a regal, then you can use that, and hope it doesn't go into a low fizz roll or something, and then you can do that instead. You can, yeah, craft that instead. But that'll be absolutely fine. Like I looked into the DPS, and that was about 3k. And so yeah, like the Azaro fights last slightly longer, but the general like clearing is absolutely fine. You're still one hitting pretty much everything. And so yeah, that's how it is. Sorry that last part is a black screen. I actually didn't think I would be able to talk this much, but yeah, I'll leave it there, and hopefully you like the video. I will see you in the next one, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up and comment down below. Right, bye bye.